Good day, ma'am. I am John Liti Ayaw, BSc 2 Alpha, reporting the major achievements of science and technology in the ancient, middle, and modern ages. How about in the Philippines? So, in the words achievements, ilahang na invento or nabuhat sa ingana nga generation. So, what are the major achievements of science and technology in ancient time or generation? So, during the growth of the ancient civilization, ancient technology, the result from advances in engineering in ancient times. So during sa pag-growth sa ancient civilization, ang resulta sa technology kay nag-advance in ancient generation, nag-advance sa ginahinay. These advances in history of technology stimulated societies to adapt new ways of living governance. So while nag-advance ang technology, so gi-adapt po din na adapt sa ilang society, silang governance. This article includes the advances in technology and the development of civil engineering science in historic times before the Middle Ages. So before the Middle Ages, ang kaning development or technology is nag-advance while wala pa ang Middle Ages. So which began after the fall of the Western Roman Empire in AD 476, the death of Justinian in the 6th century, coming of Islam in the 7th century, or the rise of Charlemagne in the 18th century. For technologies developed in medieval societies, see medieval technology in invention medieval Islam. So for the four great invention of the China, so it is the four great invention of China. First is compass. Second, powder, paper making, and printing were among the most important technological advances only known in Europe by the end of the Middle Ages. So, ang kaning China during ancient time naka-invent sila compass, gunpowder, paper making, and printing were among the important. Kaya importante lang nga ginabuhat mo lang gimbento. So, the ancient compass was invented in ancient China. Sa China giimbento ang compass by the Han Dynasty in 2000 BC and was an important tool for navigation. Compass is a device used for directions and navigation. So compass mo na ilang ginagamit para to see the direction, sa ilang kung asa dapit ang lugar ng ilang atuan, magamit sila compass. So the ancient compass was used for checking direction when going sailing in the sea. So sa ilang pagpanagat para makauli pa silang panimalay, na sila compass ginagamit, mato sila bisag asa nga direction mato sila. It was magnetic compass. So what is ancient compass important? So appearing in China around the 4th century BC, primitive compasses should be pulled that way, not literally but equitatively, helping them order and harmonize their environments and lives. Serve as designators or direction that the Chinese primarily used to order and harmonize their environments and lives. So, ang importante daw sa compass in ancient time kay kanang mo ng compass, magnetic compass mo na gamitin lang para sa ilang direction kung asa lang madto. So why was the compass is important to explorers? In their earliest use, compasses were like use backups for when the sun, stars, or the landmarks could not be seen. Eventually, compasses became more reliable and more explorers understood how to read them. Devices became a critical navigational tool. So mo na giniuna ko niya what compass important to explorers. Ang compass mo daw mo nilang backup para halimbawa na yung mga kalaban ang compass makadetect sa mga kanang kalaban or direction sa ilang atuan.
Good day, ma'am. I am Aljun Adap, BS in Criminology, Section Alpha. Today, I'm going to continue the report that started by Mr. Ayaw. So, my report is what pushed the compass invented The compass invented by the Chinese during the Qin dynasty. Magnetic compass is actually an old Chinese invention. That's what I have said a while ago. Probably first made in China during the Qin dynasty. In the year of 221 to 206 BCE. Eventually, someone noticed that the lodestones were better at pointing out real directions, which led to the creations of the first compasses. How did the compass make life easier? So, the question is, how did the compass make a life easier? Here's the answer. Sailors had to keep the shore in sight so they could see landmarks or they risked getting lost. Compasses made it possible for the explorer to sail far out into oceans and away from land, no matter what the weather was like. This leads to more explorations and discovery of a new country and trade. So, sa madaling salita, ito ay ginagamit rin sa mga military as well as the mga mananagat or the sailors para dili sila mawala or makita sila kung asa sila padulong para lang to ng mga compass. So that is the benefits of the compass for our this new generation. Now we go to another invention, which is the gunpowder. Since its discovery around AD 850, gunpowder has been one of the most influential inventions ever developed. Gunpowder permanently altered the way that the human beings waged war, brought to an end to the possible of medieval ages in Europe, and made the age of exploration possible. Or during the gamit kayo ni ang gunpowder during the war, like atong war nila Napoleon sa una. Gunpowder was invented again. It was invented by the Chinese during the Tang Dynasty, 9th century AD, and was used in a warfare and fireworks. In the 13th century, it was discovered that combining gunpowder with a projectile could create a devastating weapon. The Chinese used gunpowder in cannons and bombs during the Mongol invasions of the 13th and 14th century. Gunpowder had a profound impact on the course of history. It changed the way wars were fought and led to the development of the modern firearms. It also had a major impact on fireworks and other pyrotechnic displays. This means munang makita nato karon sa modern era is para improve nila, so ginabutan na nila sa bullet, so maka-create og mga devastated nga impact sa katong naigo sa maong bala.
Good day, ma'am. I am Rapi Mopong, BC2 Alpha, reporting what are the major achievements of science and technology in the Middle. The era saw major technology advances, including the adoption of gunpowder, the invention of vertical windmills, spectacles, mechanical clocks, and improved water efficiency, carving techniques, and agriculture in general. The Middle Ages saw a technology revolution that changed the way humans live forever. The invention of eyeglasses served to magnify the vision of an individual and extend the natural capacities of the human eye. The invention of eyeglasses was a stepping stone that broadened the vision of human quite literally. Sa una, ma'am, ay ancient time, mas nag-advance sila og buhat og mga technology. Nya ang karon, ma'am, is middle, mas naga-improve sila sa technology. vertical wine mills. The development of wine mills in the Middle Ages. A model of a Persian wine mill, vertical axis wine mills were developed before 500 to 900 AD. Some place their invention much earlier to raise water and mill corn, and were still in use in the 1970s in the Sahedan region of Iran. Mechanical clocks. Mechanical clocks were used for a variety of reasons in the Middle Ages. The clocks were used to keep track of hours for daily prayers. They are also help monks to calculate solar and lunar. Matimailhan ma'am nga diya makuan nga tigampo na nila kay magtan-aw sila sa mechanical clocks.
Pila ka slide ako to?
Ha?
Pila ka slide? Isa lang ka slide?
Still lang. Ano sa mando?
Isa lang apps na, ha?
Ha?
Kaya ikaw sa to.
Hindi ko na to. Kuya sa good day ma'am. I am the next
Si
reporter.
pangalan ni Ma'am
I
Panya
am the next reporter.
of the group.
I am the next reporter. Therapy po.
And the next reporter of Rapio Pong. Si pa, Jillian Kabili.
In the Middle Ages ka po.
Jillian Kabili. Good morning, Ma'am. I am Marcos Arcayuga. Good morning, Ma'am Jillian Kabili. I am Marcos Arcayuga from Bachelor of Science and Criminology. I am the next reporter of between Rapio Pong in the Middle Ages. So this is my report topic, Science and Technology in the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages were one of the most outstandingly creative periods in the whole of human history. It was when that the foundations of modern science were laid, and same time so that had been justly called the first industrial revolution. Both were made possible by the beliefs about materials world and about mutual responsibilities of men towards each other that are inherent in Catholic theology. For the first time in history, there was a civilization permitted by the Catholic beliefs about the material world that are the essential preposition and foundation of science. These beliefs, which include many derived from the Old Testament, are the goodness and order of creation, its openness to the human mind and obligation freely to share by knowledge gained together with the duty of study and understand the world and use it for the good of mankind. The dogma of creation in time contradicted an Aristotelian belief in eternal universe, and the analysis of motion in light of creation led John Buridan to develop the concept of inertia that lies on foundation dynamics. In this way, Catholic beliefs gradually destroyed the erroneous physics of Aristotle that had prevented the development of science for 2,000 years. So, we're gonna go to the next topic, which is what is the achievement of science and technology in modern ages. So, let's talk about X-ray, a form of electromagnetic radiation similar to visible light. Unlike light, however, X-ray have higher energy and can pass through most objectives, including the body. Medical X-ray are used to generate image of tissues and structures inside the body. If X-ray traveling through the body also pass through an object denser than the body, such as tumor or bone, they will be absorbed more and appear white on the image. X-ray have been used for medical imaging since their discovery in 1895 by
Wilhelm Conrad,
Masabi.
Roentgen.
Oh, religion.
Discovery in 1895 by Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen. They are also used in other fields such as astronomy and crystallography. And we're gonna go to the next, which is about DNA double helix. The discovery of DNA double helical structures in the 1950s was perhaps the most significant biological accomplishment of the 20th century. Knowledge of these remarkably clever structures involving two complementary strands of DNA and that each provide the template for making the other strand, provided a key insight about how it was the DNA could serve as the information molecule of all living systems. These structural details about DNA rapidly accelerated research that revealed important aspects about DNA functions, encodes information for creating an operating living system. Meanwhile, DNA's double helix has arguably become the most well-known and economic image associated with the biology, perhaps with all of science.
Good day, ma'am. I am Carbonel Marlon from Bachelor of Science in Criminology, and I am the last reporter. And my report is all about the modern era. What is modern era? The modern era, also known as the modern age of modern period, was a historical the time period of the span, the years 1500 to 1945 years. The modern era occurred the following the Middle Ages, and it can be further divided into the two time period. The early modern period and the late modern period. The early modern period occurred from 1500 to 1800 years, and included the Renaissance, Reformation, and Enlightenment. The late modern era was primarily focused on key historical events that happened in the 19th and 20th centuries, concluding with the end of World War II in 1945. The modern age represents a period when major advancements were achieved in all aspects of life, resulting in a transformation from the old to the modern world. Higher science is the study of entire universe from the circular level to the highest level. Technology is the application rising from the science. Hence, we both of them in our life, while science involves explanation, phenomenon, and analysis and predictions on various subjects. Technology is something that simplifies all these things. That's all. Thank you.
Ano to?